Speaking of fine print.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a two-parter. There's just two articles that I found particularly interesting.
Yeah.
The first is an article by Didier Stevens. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He's been looking into Microsoft Office vulnerabilities and exploits for a long time. Mm-hmm. He recently found a campaign where instead of using the regular Office extension, you know, a .xls or XLSX now, that's right, the new ones. That's part of the point. Certain XML files, you know, if you open it up in a Windows machine with Office installed, it'll just treat it like an Office document and try and do its best to open it as a Word file or you know, a spreadsheet or something like that. And it turns out that when it does that, it'll try and unpack certain portions of it, and then there'll be Visual Basic code in there that'll reach out, grab a payload, and execute it. So this is an XML file, and you know, it's as far as most people would be concerned, XML is nothing but, you know, structured text. You build the right structured text, you feed it to the right program, you've got yourself an exploit.
Right. It's a matter of how the programs interpret whatever they're consuming. You know, every time we have a discussion on these kinds of things, I can't help but think back to the good old days with the von Neumann architecture, where there was a very clear distinction between code and data.
Yep.
And as soon as we went down this path of kind of blurring the two, that, you know, basically a file name tells the program how to execute on something. It made data something other than just data. And so we have this whole entanglement and opportunities for taking advantage of it.
Well, actually, we at AT&T have an even earlier prior art for that, when we had signaling and voice calls in the same, you know, on the same phone lines.
Yeah.
That's when
we went through a lot of trouble, in fact, yeah, to create the SS7 network, to be able to do all the control stuff out of band.
Out of band, exactly.
And to be able to get away from it. It was the tones. I mean, still the end user dialing was still in band effectively, the DTMFs and, you know, the click dials or whatever. But ultimately, in the network itself, the signaling was done out of band. And you know, the internet doesn't really have an out of band network. It's it basically tries to create channels within the network itself. So you know, it's possible to control these things. It's just a matter of you need some sort of a structure to work within. And I guess my feeling is that some of that structure is really kind of, it's almost become too flexible. You almost really kind of have to go back to some basic rules about how to create systems and architect them in a way that they can be more secure. So in the meantime, we're going to stumble through.